Hello, my name is Tilly Divine. Well, actually, it's not really, but that's what you can call me here on this YouTube. I've decided to open up a YouTube account specifically for nothing but mental health issues, particularly those that I deal with. I hope that I will be able to meet and talk to some people who are also going through similar experiences. And I hope that I will be able to help them in some capacity, and that hopefully they will be able to help me a little. I have something called complex post-traumatic stress disorder, CPTSD. I'll explain that briefly to you. Okay, most of you probably know what PTSD is. Post-traumatic stress disorder. A very traumatic experience happens and a disorder develops whenever you're attempting to work through what happened to you. We hear about it a lot with veterans, people who were raped, molested, abused in, various capacities. What's the difference, though, between complex post-traumatic stress disorder and just regular PTSD? Sorry, I have a guinea pig and he's crawling around in my bed eating papers, so I'm just checking on him. Okay, so one big difference between the two is that while PTSD is a result of a traumatic experience, CPTSD is the result of a chronic, spread out sort of a trauma that just keeps going on. And often people who develop CPTSD have experienced in their trauma elements of being held in captivity, physically and or emotionally. And often their traumas, a really key characteristic of their traumas were that they were completely unable to escape and were completely not in control and had just zero control, could do nothing about it. And that feeling over a prolonged period of time creates a lot of problems. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my trauma. Now, right now this is an intro video. I do not feel comfortable telling any of the details of my trauma. But these are the things that I will tell you about it. My trauma began this summer of 2012. It has to do with the captivity theme. I was physically held captive, and I continue to be emotionally held captive. The lack of control, I was pretty much put in a situation that is about the epitome of having no control over a situation. And I am pretty much still in that situation. So, something interesting is that I experienced this trauma with someone else. I experienced it with a boyfriend who I had only been with for a short period of time, but I certainly loved him quite a bit. And you notice I'm speaking in past tense. On February 1st, he snapped. I think that we both have been working through the trauma in very different ways. I've just developed this CPTSD, and it's completely ruling my life. He was in denial, and he relapsed back into drugs. He was a recovering heroin addict. and he, one day he just had a psychotic snap, and he assaulted me, which I would have never expected. So, I had to make a tough decision. I loved him with all of my heart, and I knew that this wasn't who he really was, that it was just the result of what happened to us and not it being so hard to deal with. But nonetheless, I've just decided that I cannot allow myself to be assaulted for whatever reason, and I filed a restraining order against him, which was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And he's in prison for what he did to me. So there was, the original trauma in the summer, and then he was all that I really felt that I had left, because I lost a lot. I lost everything except my family and my guinea pig. I lost everything. My entire life as it was stopped. I had to move. I lost my job. I lost all of my earthly possessions. Lost my apartment. Yeah. So, that's what made it really hard then, losing him too, because, we can debate over whether or not he was a good person for me. I know that he probably really wasn't, but the fact that we experienced that trauma together makes it really hard. The fact that he's the only tie that I even had left to my old life made it just so much harder. So that all happened on February 1st, and it's now April 6th. So how am I doing right now? I have no contact at all with my ex. I'm living with my parents, and I'm 27 years old, by the way. And I've, been on my own for a while, and coming back to my parents' house feels weird, but I'm very thankful that I can stay here. I've basically completely isolated myself. I have no means of getting around. I don't have a car. If I were to want to go somewhere, I would have to rely on my parents, who are both very busy and work, And so basically I just sit in my room all day. But I'm trying really hard to branch out and to get myself out there a little bit at a time. I'm making little progresses here and there, So I'll probably make videos every time I do something new that means something to me, like milestones and getting better. So that's my intro. That's me. As a side note, I have self-injured since I was 14 years old. I have had major depressive disorder since I was 9 years old. I've struggled off and on with eating disorders. And what else? Oh, and I've always had a certain level of social anxiety and just normal generalized anxiety. But now that is, has increased, a millionfold. So, yeah. So, okay, that is my intro. And I hope that we can have some sort of a mutually beneficial relationship. Please comment. Please let me know what you think. And I encourage video responses. I love doing video responses. And I hope you don't mind if I make video responses to your videos, because I just love doing that sort of thing, interacting with people via the internet in the safety of my own bedroom. So anyway, I hope that this was informative and not too boring. So let me just show you my guinea pig really quick since he just ran up to me. This is Ringo. Okay, alright, see ya.